We only want to alert the public. The COVID is real, and therefore protect yourself. Observe the national protocol measures to protect yourself, protect your family.
COVID is real. Stay safe and wear a mask. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM and Hits 103.9 FM in Accra. Also on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across Ghana, including Swiss 93.7 FM in Ho, and worldwide at myjoyonline.com. Coming up, President Akufo-Addo dismisses claims of interference by Martin Amidu in his work as special prosecutor, describing it as perplexing. We have details of a 9-page, 40-point response to the claims of the former special prosecutor. Meanwhile, the Ghana Integrity Initiative wants government to kickstart the process of finding a replacement for Mr. Amidu to enable the smooth running of the office of the special prosecutor.
In business, inflation rate to ease further next year and remain in single-digit bracket according to Fed Solutions, a move that would trigger fall in interest rates. We've got more in 15 minutes as we keep eyes on the MPC's review meeting with stars today.
And fire has engulfed the Odona market at Kwame Nkrumah Circle, with firefighters still struggling to contain the blaze that is said to have started at midnight.
12:15. Now then started. The whole market.
We are live there. Thanks for your company. Let's start from the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, where firefighters are struggling to contain inferno, which eyewitnesses say started around midnight. Thick smoke is seen billowing from the market area. Let's get some more from my colleague Joseph Akable, who's at the scene. Hello, Joseph. What can you report?
So, Benis, as I speak to you now, firefighters are still here at the Odona market. They are very busy at work. They are pouring water into parts of the market. This market is some few meters away from the GCB Bank, not far from where the Circle Fire and Flood disaster occurred. It stretches from the GCB Bank all the way to the Odona Drain. And according to eyewitnesses, it started sometime after 12, where they saw smoke coming. They said it started from one stall and it has burnt most parts of the market, according to eyewitnesses. You can take a listen to some of them.
If you will not, you will see now more. Until you, I'm a boy about who didn't kind of offer 5 cents because we say we see if you store, but could be more. I'll call Auntie Bianca, I'm two. I'm okay, I'm a blue hair, I'm to church to Gamma, I'm a Sweden. I'm a flat. I'm saying, other people go, I'm a floor, I'm a buy. I'm buying this one. I'm buying Swassa. If you are my buy, I'm going to do slow. I started one store. Or 12:15. No, 12:15. Now they started. The whole market. Yeah, I tempted to say. You're not supposed to be here, but security man is saying. Can I brand new chest? I say, say, marketer. Who's civilian? Who's me right inside? I'm going to be done. I say, right inside.
Well, you heard an eyewitness saying that the fire started at about 12:15, and they called the fire service, and since then the fire has been blazing. Joseph, so have you been able to speak to firefighters?
If you're asking about whether we're speaking to the firefighters, not yet, Ben, because they are still trying to put out a fire. In fact, we no longer see the flames that we saw when we came in some 15 minutes ago, but there is still the eastern part of the market where there's a bit of fire and there's a lot of smoke coming from it. And so the fire tenders have been moved towards that side of the market. It's not very far from the overhead, and they are trying to douse that particular fire. It's still burning as I speak. I can see that particular flame on the eastern side. It's a container right at the entrance of the market, and it's still burning. There are other firefighters who are in the middle of the market itself, also working at that particular end. So the firefighters, to speak, are currently busy trying to douse the flames. Some officers from the Ghana Police Service just arrived a short while ago. They are also here at the scene trying to ascertain what exactly may have happened about it.
Joseph, finally, do you have shop owners thronging the market?
A few of them. In fact, some have come in here. They are attempted to go into the market, but they were prevented. But a good number of them were not present here when this particular thing started. And so a lot of them are now coming in, and they are arriving to the shock that they may have lost items if they left them overnight. And so that is the situation they have to do to ensure that the fire is put under control, and hopefully they get access to the market. How I speak, they've been denied access to the market.
Join News reporter Joseph Akabletha will keep our eyes on this developing story and furnish you with details. Away from that, President Akufo-Addo has dismissed claims of interference by Martin Amidu in his work as special prosecutor. Mr. Amidu resigned Monday, alleging interference in the work he did on the Ejapa royalties agreement. In the 9-page 40-point response, President Akufo-Addo described the claims as untenable and perplexing. Deputy head of our political desk, Winston Amo, joins us in studio with details of the president's response to Mr. Martin Amidu. First, Winston, let's start with a response to the claim of interference as it relates to the president's handling of the Ejapa report.
Well, so the president in this letter indicates that at no point in time did they ask Martin Amidu to hold on anything, and that when Martin Amidu sent that letter, all the president did was that because he had indicated it was a compliance audit, he said it was important to also hear from the other side. And it was in this regard that the president told Martin Amidu to actually listen to the other side. And indeed, according to the letter, Mr. Martin Amidu agreed, and at no point did he make it that he was reluctantly agreeing to do this. It was when the response was made available to him that he refused to accept it.
The president also responds, Winston, to issues of operational challenges, talks about physical structures or space and human resource.
Yeah, so the letter actually talks about the fact that since Mr. Martin Amidu was appointed in February 2018, attempts had been made to give him a befitting office. And if you look at the letter closely, it talks about the fact that they had indicated they were going to acquire one or two or three story building facility for him. Now, the Mr. Amidu then indicated that he wanted an old GNTC building. While they were working on the GNTC building, Mr. Martin Amidu indicated that, well, he actually would prefer, the Get Fund building. Now, together with Mr. Amidu and a contractor, they looked at the defects. Mr. Martin Amidu identifying 8 defects, and then they decided to renovate it. Now, when everything was done and a key handed over to Mr. Martin Amidu, he said it was disrespectful to have a messenger hand over key to him in an envelope, and that he believed that if they believed they were giving him a befitting accommodation, then the president should come and commission that accommodation to all Ghanaians, that this becomes the office of the special prosecutor. Earlier, there were exchanges between the office of the president and Mr. Martin Amidu concerning the occupation of the Get Fund building. There was a plan to have him occupy the first 3 floors, and Mr. Martin Amidu raised concerns that could compromise the security of his staff and office.
There's a lot of details in that letter, and I'm sure on the Super Morning Show we'll delve into it. But before you leave us here on the 6 a.m. news, Mr. Martin Amidu, while in office, indicated that he did not intend to interrogate the NDC's presidential candidate, John Dramani Mahama, due to the upcoming elections. Well, the presidency has some comments on that. Well,
the president actually says that, if he was interfering in the work of Martin Amidu, that's one of the things he would have interfered first, because he stood a chance of benefiting politically. Even though Mr. Martin Amidu had, per his mandate, should be doing that. When he decided not to do it, something that he felt wasn't the best of decisions, they didn't say anything and allowed him to continue with his work.
Deputy head of our political desk, Winston Amwa, there. Well, the Ghana Integrity Initiative, GII, is calling on government to start the process of finding a replacement for the former special prosecutor. Speaking to Joy News in an interview, programs manager GII, Mariada, indicated that key corruption-related investigations being handled by the office makes it expedient to fill the vacuum created.
We wouldn't that it is so, but that is what we have. And so going forward, definitely it is an office that is established, and for that matter, it should transcend individuals. And we also have an act that seeks to operationalize the office, the legislative instrument for that matter. So quickly, the handing over process and transitioning should be activated, and
you have the programs manager at GII, Mary Ada, and constituents of Asawasi in the Ashanti region want special attention accorded the constituency to avert any act of violence in the December 7 polls. And as part of Joy News' series on security in constituencies ahead of election 2020, Love FM's Nanaya Ojima engaged constituents. Here's his report.
The Asawasi constituency is listed among hotspots in the upcoming election, with 53 areas under police radar. The quest of the New Patriotic Party to grab the parliamentary seat from the National Democratic Congress is said to be the cause of the high tension in the area. several incidents have threatened security in Aswansi constituency. In July, a national security operative brandished a gun at a registration center in an attempt to restrict some people from registering in the constituency. Pockets of political violence, character